Well, I've been a fan of Boston Celtics for, my whole life pretty much.
First Celtics game was back when I was like 7.
The Boston Celtics became legendary.
What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Jesse Almeida here on YouTube and on Beantown Takes, and today we are going to be reacting to the Celtics press conference introducing Malcolm Brogdon and Danilo Gallinari to the Boston Celtics. Not going to say much on the two moves here for the Celtics because I already did on the podcast, and I did that on its own video too when the moves were originally announced. So I'm not going to say much on that. We're just going to kick back, relax, and we're going to react to their answers to the questions that they have to the media. This is a 34-minute long reaction. As you can see here, it's a 33-minute video, so it's going to be a long one. So sit back, relax, enjoy the press conference. If you missed it, I missed it today because I am now back at work, where I am working right now until I get out of college whatsoever. So I'm back at work, so I have not got a chance to see this yet. So we're going to react to it right now. Again, kick back, relax, and enjoy because it's going to be a long reaction here. Hit the thumbs up if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe it now if you guys are new and you guys want more Boston sports content whatsoever. You guys know the deal. Go check out my website, beantowntakes.com. Link is in the description down below. And if you guys want to donate to help us go to games and all that, my Venmo account is in the description. Anything helps. Appreciate all the love and support. And without further ado, let's hop straight into it.
Obviously, thanks for being here. I know some of you were out west and others weren't, but some of you are watching from out west as well. Obviously, it's a great day for the Celtics.
I'm going to kick back and relax too.
And a day we've anticipated here over the last week or so, and we're all really excited about. So I'll be the first to, welcome Malcolm and Danilo to Boston. Obviously, when talking about, and I'll start right here to my right with Danilo, when talking about Danilo and all that he's accomplished in his 13 years? 14 years in the NBA with his ability to
look at Gallinari with his slick back
standpoint of
goop
scoring the
hairdo
ball
over
in
there.
different
Look at
manners,
his
different ways,
goofy ass.
shooting, his ability to make tough shots on the block, his ability to draw attention and make the right reads and play. Obviously, we felt like he was a great fit
big, though.
in addition to our team.
He spreads out the floor
us,
a little bit.
Hopefully continue to strive for those next steps. And we've had a chance to spend time, all of us, over the last 24 hours or so. And, it's really clear how good of a fit both these guys are. And then with Malcolm, I've known Malcolm since he was a high schooler, recruited him a little bit unsuccessfully, which is a pretty typical tale since I've been here. I've said that before. And but glad he's here now, a person that can make plays for, as a guard with the ball, as a guy that's playing off the ball, a good shooter, and just a person that really understands how to win. And obviously fits right in with how our guards can play on the defensive end and guard up with his size and strength. So we're excited both those guys are here. I think you'll find them to be not only really good players and really good fits, but as you're introduced to them today, I think it'll become really obvious when you listen to them that they're about all the right stuff, and they're excited to, help us strive for, the step we didn't quite take this year. And, I know that our guys that aren't here, that are all over the place right now, that are on our roster, we're really excited when, it was decided that both of these guys were going to join us. So I guess, do you want me to pass it or we just go straight to questions? Okay. You guys got off the hook. No opening statements.
Danilo's liking that.
Danilo. You could have, it sounds like you could have taken more money to go somewhere else, but you chose here.
Chicago.
What went into your thinking? Why did you make the pick?
Many reasons, but when you think about the Celtics, I grew up with my dad since I was a little kid, being a Celtics fan, being a Larry Bird fan. So when the Celtics came on the table, it was almost like a no-brainer. And you walk even in this facility, you look around and you see what's going on around the banners and the history.
So you don't hear that much often
and everything
anymore
that
about
the
players
Celtics
talking
are
about history and whatnot.
It was an easy choice.
How did
Come on, is this what it's gonna be too? Like,
1 or 2 tenths of a second may be the difference in winning a race or.
I will say, if
finishing
I
10th.
watched it live,
To
I would
make
not be
those
getting
splits-
these commercials or
how
ads
much
in
were you able
between.
to borrow from Larry Bird's game? I mean, you just grew up watching all that.
Yeah, I mean, the first, tell this story, the first meeting when I got drafted by the Knicks, Donnie Walsh was the GM. The first meeting that I had with him in the summer, he gives me this CD, and it's a Larry Bird CD. And he says, look at these videos every day and see what you can do. Of course, Larry Bird is a legend, and so it's not easy to do the stuff that he was doing. But I looked at those tapes every day, and so, like I said, it's great to be here, and I can't wait to wear those colors.
And I should have introduced Danilo's dad, Vittorio, is here as well, and he was a heck of a player in his own right, as many of you know. And it took this guy a few years to be able to beat his dad, from what I learned last night.
It was pretty easy at 15 years old.
Yeah, that's right.
That's his
Very
dad?
athletic. Just for both of you
Hey!
guys, you're stepping into a situation where you could be part of a team that almost just won. How does this feel as far as the phase of your career where you feel like you can be that last missing piece to be part of a championship core?
You got it.
For me, I'm in my prime. I'm 29 years old. I experienced winning at a high level in Milwaukee for my first 3 years. Went to Indiana, had a solid season, and then sort of 2 rough seasons. So this is everything I've wanted, to be able to get back to this level, to be able to compete with guys that want to win a championship and that are all in, that want to sacrifice to win. So it's very fortuitous for me to be here, and I think it's the perfect time for me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, at this stage of my career, when you think about basketball, you think about winning, get that ring, and it's a constant thought that I have every day. Is that time for me? It's always been about winning for me. Even when I was younger, it was always about winning, and so especially right now when you get at this stage and when you're 30, 33, about to be 34, it's what you want, and it's something that you work for every day.
Brad, a question for you. Ownership has been talking for a while about willing to dive into the luxury tax when the moment was right. When did that conversation start with them about when you figured this team was ready to make that dive, and how did you present them these opportunities?
Yeah, they've been great about that this whole time. It has been whatever we need to do to try to maximize our opportunities. And we obviously have a really good core, a really good team. Been fortunate to make
I'm gonna have to rewatch Velvet
really good
Mavs, too.
additions, and we wouldn't be able to do that without that commitment from them. And so, we're obviously thankful, and I think that's been had the green light the whole time to make those calls.
Taylor Snow, Celtics.com.
Malcolm, just what was your emotional reaction when you found out about the trade, and how have you kind of digested it over the last few days, just knowing the opportunity that you're stepping into here?
I was extremely excited. The possibility to put on a Boston Celtics jersey. My grandfather passed a few years ago. I was the biggest Bill Russell fan. was the biggest Auerbach fan and loved the Boston Celtics. So to be able to play here is definitely a blessing for me, and his honor for sure. But yeah, you know, I've told everybody I've met in the organization, it's an honor to put on this jersey. It's a privilege. You know, the most historic, successful, sort of high-reaching organization in the league. So I'm extremely excited to be here.
I wanted to ask both of you. You've experienced many games here in TD Garden, just the atmosphere. How much are you looking forward to experiencing that on a nightly basis now?
I think about it. I had dreams about it, and so yeah, I'm glad that now is reality, and I can't wait to start the season to
New England picture.
Experience that.
Hook up a
finally
meet and
as
greet.
a-
Hook up
as
a
a
meet and
Boston
greet
Celtic,
with one of these two. A public
player,
signing
and
with
not
one of
to
these
play
two.
against the Celtics. So
I'll be all
it's,
over it.
It's an amazing atmosphere. Everybody, you know, knows that, and so I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm opening ears, guys, for Meet the Leets. I know you guys want a lot more of the Meet the Leets, so there's one currently right now. There's one coming up.
You know, I want to come here and sacrifice to win. I think everybody on a great team.
I
Everybody
hate to back up. Did he
sacrificed
ask
to
about
win.
the sixth man?
What's your mindset about that? Obviously, you expect to come off the bench. What's your mindset about
Okay.
that? Obviously,
Sorry that I had to back up.
After being the leading scorer in Indiana last year.
Yeah, you know, I want to come here and sacrifice to win. I think everybody on a great team, everybody sacrifices. Tatum, Brown, all of us take.
I don't think his minutes are gonna
have to take things off of our plate.
take a
sacrifice
dip.
a few things.
I think he'll
So
come
for
off
me,
the
I
bench,
don't-
but he'll kind of be
you know,
like
for
Isaiah
me, I
Thomas.
think
He'll get like
Gallinari
30
too,
minutes off the bench.
We're trying to add. We're not trying to take away. This team already has something special. They've made
Or
it to the
something like
finals.
that.
They already have a recipe, and I want to add to that recipe, not disrupt it. So whatever this team needs from me, whatever Ime needs from me, whatever my teammates need from me, that's what I'm gonna do.
Another added soon. Malcolm Butler's doing a public meet and greet soon at New England Pictures.
So I just got my entire apartment cleaned for $19.
Do you guys
Seriously,
want that? Comment down below.
We're
Yes
talking
if you want it. Comment
laundry,
no
wash,
if you
and
don't
folded.
want it.
All my cabinets.
We have some Zoom questions as well. We'll start with the first Zoom question from John Corrales.
Hey, Brad, you just said that you have the go to spend, and obviously the team has spent to add Danilo and Malcolm, but is there a high end to the limit of what you can spend? Are there moves that maybe you would make in a different situation that you can't make now?
Good question. I was just thinking the
tax
same
bill?
thing.
No, I mean, I think the bottom line is, and obviously we have, you know, not only a trade exception now, but trade exceptions that we can use again towards the trade deadline. And that's all about just finding the right deal. If it's the right trade to be made, we have the green light to do that. So
They might not be done, guys.
Next question is from Bobby Manning.
That's interesting.
Hey, Malcolm, for you and Brad, Brad mentioned his recruitment attempt to you when you were going to college, and for Brad as well. Just how long have you two kind of wanted to connect and, join each other, not only at the high school level, but through your NBA years now, starting with Malcolm?
He didn't want to connect bad enough that he was going to come to college. So obviously it was probably more me wanting.
Brad recruited me hard at Butler when I was coming out of high school, and we had already known his reputation. He had already gone to the championship game and Final Fours, and really done everything you can do in college. So I knew what type of coach, what level coach he was already. But I went in a different direction. I chose UVA. But my sort of infatuation and want to play with someone that had such a great basketball mind and clearly was a fantastic coach never stopped. And then once I got to the league, it's hard in the league a lot of the time, unless you're, one of the top, 10 guys, you don't control your fate. You can't decide who you're going to play for. So, to have this opportunity to be under Brad's wing and, to be in the organization that he's, really running. I know it's going to be well run. I know it's going to have a great culture. I know it's going to have great leadership. And I know the coach, whoever it is, and the teammate is going to be a great coach with a great mind. So,
well, that coach is
like I said, it's a privilege to be here and to be, somewhat reunited with Brad.
I would say this one feels pretty obvious. He said all those kind words, but then he met Tony and it was over. So we're glad he's here in Boston, though.
Next question from Adam Himmelsbach at the Boston Globe.
Hey guys, to both of you, what kind of stood out watching the Celtics make that run to the finals this season, and particularly the personnel they did it with, and what ways do you think kind of your unique skill sets will help you complement it?
I do think they still need to back up big, however.
For me, I think watching that team, you sort of watch them get better and better over the season. They started off a really talented young team. That was good, but not great. And, I think they had a rough month maybe in January. Didn't play as well as they wanted to. And then you saw them really come together. I think you saw Al Horford. You saw their vets really pull those guys together and turn themselves into a great team and rally. So that's, that's something you look at as an opponent and you admire, because it's extremely hard to bring really talented young guys together on one page and have them compete and beat the best in the NBA, handle the Milwaukee Bucks, handle the Brooklyn Nets, make a run like they did. So for me, I want to come in here and I want to add. My skill set, my playmaking, my ability to play off the ball when guys like Brown and Tatum have the ball, and my ability to read the game, to be able to close games, make good decisions, and defend really 1 through 4. I think can be an asset for this team.
Yeah, for me, is like Miles said, to watch the team last year play the chemistry, how hard they played, the system. You could really see how the system and the guys were able to get better. Like Miles said, every game, every month, and do the run that they had. It was amazing to see. What I can bring or what I do, I've been doing it. You guys know I've been a pretty versatile player, so I played in different systems, but I always fit it well. And so there are a lot of things that I can do defensively and offensively that I'm sure I can add and
Did you say defensively?
Gel right away in the chemistry with the team and with the guys that we have.
Also from the Boston Globe, Gary Washburn with a question.
I'm surprised he said defensively. Was he improving on his defensive game, maybe?
Go ahead, Gary.
Gary, hello. Oh, Jesus.
Going on my 30th year, fourth year apprentice. For over 36 years. 22 years now.
4th year at the liquor store.
The Associated Press. Both you guys have had different journeys in the league. Danilo, you talked about reaching 34 years old and kind of getting older in the league. Malcolm, you were kind of about being in your prime. What if your time in the NBA thus far, both of you, just talk to you about how precious moments are in the NBA and kind of seizing opportunities when you get them to kind of capitalize on them?
Yeah, it's. I think it's very important when you realize the team that you got, the situation that you got, and that's something that, for example, it happened to me like 2 years ago when I was my first year in Atlanta. That you have a young team and they played last like 3-4 seasons, even more losing season, and all of a sudden you play one season where you get to the conference finals. Those moments, and I was telling the guys, all the young guys every time, those moments, you got to use those moments. Because like all the young guys were like, after we lost, it was like, yeah, next year we'll be back. I said, no, we're here now. You need to win that game now. You need to win that series now. And they will realize it. once they get older. But when you are there, you definitely need to capitalize in those seasons and those moments.
I like that. It's not we'll be back. It's like you need to capitalize
I couldn't
now.
agree
I do
more.
like that.
He's been doing this basically twice as long as I've been doing it in the league, so I think he has more experience. But from my 6-7 years winning in Milwaukee, it was easy to take it for granted. My first 3 years we got better and better and better, and then I went to Indiana and we were a good team, and we sort of went downhill those 3 years. So winning, it's easy to get complacent. It's easy to not feel like you have to take advantage of the moment, but you do, because this league, everybody's making moves every summer. Everybody's getting better. Everybody's working on their game. There are new, young, hungry players that are coming into the league every year. There are coaches that are scouting you differently every single year, and players that are scouting you as well. So, you have to continue to get better and take advantage of these moments. And I think one of the tricky things is sometimes you don't know when it's your moment. You don't know, like for that Atlanta team that Gallo was on, I'm not sure anybody realized they were going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they took advantage of the moment. But for us here in Boston this year, we know we have a chance to really do something special. So, it's really up to us to hold each other accountable and to take advantage of this moment.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll try to go back to Gary Washburn again. All right, we'll go on to Byron Robb.
Here's a question for Brad with the, obviously making the big addition of these two guys. You guys seem to have a pretty deep roster at this point. How happy are you with just the complexion of the roster right now? What are your, priorities moving forward for the rest of the offseason just to fill things out?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been around me long enough to know, like, I really value how a team fits together and how it should function together, and how, if everybody brings their strengths to the table, how it accentuates each other. And obviously we think that these guys really do that. I think we're deep. I think that, we have a lot of options. One of the things that I thought, as we went through the playoffs and the different challenges, you see some series are better for some guys than others. But one of the things that I thought would be good is if we gave ourselves more options with a, quote, small lineup. Obviously, we're not small when you talk about Danilo and Malcolm. They're big guys, but they're very skilled, and so they're able to space the floor.
They actually might be
that
done.
way,
Never
and it
mind.
just gives us even more options.
Thinking
in
about
certain
going a small
scenarios and
lineup,
certain
I guess.
substitution
That's what you
patterns,
just said.
and even,
Maybe they are done.
Sometimes to start games, start halves if you want to. So to add from here, I think we talked about, obviously, it's great to have the green light to continue to add in any which way we need. But one of the things that I'll continue to focus on is adding without taking away. So I think that we do have a deep team. There will be the need for everybody to give a little, which is important. But I think everybody here is ready to do that, because I think that they got a taste of what it's all about in June. And it's pretty clear what we want to do here moving forward.
Yep.
Don Corrales.
We are now contenders.
For Brad and for Malcolm, were there any conversations after this trade with Marcus Smart? I know when you bring in someone of Malcolm's caliber, it could be perceived as a threat to the current starting point guard. I know that, Malcolm, you've spoken a lot about embracing a six-man role, and that's going to be the role. But what was the process of letting Smart know about this move and what the roles were going to be?
Yeah, from my standpoint, it's what I just said, John. Like, everybody knows, what the goal is, and everybody knows that in order to achieve that, we have to become deep, flexible, be able to play a lot of different ways. And every single guy that I talked to, and I talked to, all of those guys, and Marcus included, within, an hour of the trade, they're all jacked. They're all excited. They're ready to roll. I know, Malcolm, you and Marcus go back a little bit or have a connection somehow, but this is about winning. And I think, one of the things about Marcus's tenure as a Celtic, it's been defined by winning in the playoffs every year. And we all know that to stay the same As Malcolm said, everybody else in the league's trying to get better. And everybody else in the league, as you're making your run, is reading about you making your run. So you've got to meet the challenge by improving. And we've got to do that individually with our own work and our own development. And we had to do that by addressing the roster needs. And, we're really excited because, like you've heard these guys, as I said earlier, these two really get it, and they really know what it's about. And the guys that we have in that locker room that are back know that too.
Yeah, I want to echo the same point. I think Marcus is one of the biggest winners that we've seen in this league. And I think that's why Boston loves him. I think that's why this organization loves him.
For real, though.
And it's hard to really put your finger on, what
How
it
many
is
conference
about
finals
him.
has
He's a
Smart
winner.
been
He
in?
knows how to win
Quite a
games. He's
few.
going to help you no matter what. And, this move, I think, bringing me here actually helps him. I'm going to push Marcus. I'm going to embrace him. He's going to embrace me. We're going to push each other. I really think we're actually going to play really well together. I think we have different skill sets, but I think we both want to win so bad it doesn't matter. All the other stuff is distraction and noise. I think we're going to come together and really make this thing work.
In the back here, Ian Steele, ABC6 Providence. Question for the players. Malcolm, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on teaming up now with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown?
They're great young players. I think, there's a lot that can be said for them, but they've proven who they are over these past, I think, 2 years. They both took huge steps during this last playoff run, and really, sort of cemented their names and their abilities in this league. They have a lot of respect, and they're the guys that I think this team leans on the most. So my goal is to come here and make them better.
Like 9 minutes
like Mal
left.
said, great
It's a
young
long press
players
conference.
with experience. You don't see a lot of players, a lot of great players like them as young, but they already have a lot of experience.
Excuse me.
And so, of course, when you look at the team, one of the reasons why I came here is them. And so I talked to them already, and like I said, I'm excited, and we all here working for them, working for the team to make sure that they succeed and we all succeed.
Okay, filling in for Gary Washburn, who has texted his questions to us. So, first one is from Malcolm. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Jaylen?
Yeah, Jalen's from Atlanta. He's a few years younger than me. I remember once I got to college.
I didn't even know he was from
hearing
Atlanta. I
about
thought he
him
was from California,
coming up
like
while I
that,
was at
around the
UVA.
California
And then
area.
I think maybe my junior, senior year, we played Cal when Jalen was a freshman. He had a lot of hype. He had a lot of, clout. And everybody knew he was going to be a top 3 pick in the draft. And we played against each other. I think we both played well. But that was really my first glimpse at seeing him. I knew he was going to be special. And then, coming up in the league, we both got Jalen was I believe the 3rd pick, and I was in the 2nd round. But Milwaukee and Boston, we always had these battles in the 1st, 2nd round my first couple of years, and me and Jalen would match up against each other. So it's I've always watched him sort of up close and from afar, really, really clearly work on his game. I mean, I can tell the steps he's taken every year on his game, from just being a very dominant, explosive athlete to actually being a very skilled player that can think the game as well and play both ends. So it's finally a privilege to be on his team. We really connected during the pandemic when he led a protest in Atlanta.
That's true. That's right.
And we're also both on the executive committee for the PA, and have
That's
connected
also
on there.
true.
But we were on one phone call during the pandemic.
We better be getting a ton of
which he
calls
said
next
that he
year.
was leading a protest in Atlanta, and that's when I reached out to him after the call. And that was really the first time we probably connected on a personal level. And then we marched together in Atlanta, and that's when I really got to know him pretty well and sort of realize what he's really about. And for him, it's bigger than basketball. It's about life. It's about being an activist. It's about being a good person. So always been a big fan of his, and I'm really excited to play with him.
Two questions for Danilo. The first one is, can you talk a little bit about adjusting to a bench role when you got to Atlanta?
Yeah, I think for for a player is never, especially the minutes that I was playing, the player I was, is never easy, especially mentally. But it's something that at that point, something that I accepted it, and mentally you gotta get used to it. You gotta accept it. And I thought, it was at that point of my career, it was a move that I decided to accept and do, and I think I did a good job in those 2 years as a bench player in Atlanta. And it's something that you gotta adjust, and you gotta be a pro. And whatever you need to do, whatever needs to be done, you gotta do it. Especially as a vet, as a leader of the team, he's not just coming from the bench, but you got to do a lot of other stuff that comes into leadership when you play a game and when you approach the whole season, and you have to handle all the guys in the team. And so it was, like I said, I had to adjust. It was a process, but it's something that happens to a majority of the players.
And his second question is a little bit of a sore subject around here, but can you talk about the 10 three-pointer game you had here in Boston?
Was it me? Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, that was you.
What day was this?
I mean, great game, but I'm glad that we won that game, and that's something that when you guys, when we talk about stats, and I had some great games.
I know which
amazing
one
stats,
he's talking
course,
about.
but
Okay, this was in Atlanta.
Did we win that game where I had those 10 threes? Yes. If we didn't win, it would have been just a bad game. That's the way that I see it. But yeah, it was great to win, to break records for the franchise, for the NBA. I think is the only player that 10 threes coming from the bench for the NBA, and nobody ever made 10 threes in the Hawks history, something like that. So it was a great game, but we won that game. That was the most important thing.
By a lot.
He goes by a lot.
Huh? I don't remember. Do you remember? Do you guys remember? We all remember?
I mentioned that
Was
game
it
last
you?
night, didn't I?
Oh, probably was you.
Yeah, probably was.
Bad scouting report.
Yeah,
Bad scouting report.
I mean, why would we guard you? Leave him open, let him wear himself out by making everyone.
I have a couple Zoom questions. First one from Rose Pavone.
Another ad. You gotta be kidding me. And I'm getting notification on my phone. This is a good time for me to check
We're
if
not
there's any
playing
breaking
around this
news.
summer. 30 teams, one city, 11 days of basketball. Don't miss the stars of tomorrow with the NBA 2K23 Summer League. Coverage begins July 8th.
Screw that.
Hey guys, this question is for Malcolm and for Danilo. What were some of have you reached out to some of the recent players outside of from the core guys or anyone in general? And if so, what were those conversations like with the current Celtics players, your new teammates?
Yeah, Jason reached out to me. I immediately reached out to Jalen as I knew it was going down. I actually talked to Al before because me and Al have a relationship back in Atlanta. But really, Jalen and Al,
I totally
really
forgot he played for
were excited
Atlanta.
about the opportunity to have me on the team.
But yeah.
Those two guys really know what I'm about because we have good relationships.
Yeah, and this team is gonna kind of click
they're
for the
ready to
most
embrace
part.
me and welcome me into the family. So
Everybody's
we
kind of got
had some really
ties
good
in with each other. That's a good thing.
Same for me with JT, Jalen, and Al. Talked to them already. And
That means everybody's kind of like
we all
similar
excited.
in like everybody's like, yep, we all
can't wait
agree. We got to do whatever we got to do to get this
working
one
together.
goal.
We'd love
Instead
to
of
be able
like
to answer all
when
your
Kyrie
Zoom
was
questions,
here,
but we'll
he was just
close with
focused
this
on
one from
himself.
Bobby Manning.
Even kind of Rozier.
Hey Brad, so you send out Daniel in this trade, and that kind of leaves a little bit of a big man gap where he was last year.
Good-
How do you
good
kind of
question
picture
coming
filling
up.
that spot? I know Luke's back, and you got some extra roster spots here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll continue to look at, again, what adds to our team. I think ultimately you know, though we started big most of last year with Al and Rob, we oftentimes would play one of them. I think, like I said earlier, we're better set up to play, quote, smaller than we were just because of the size of these two guys sitting next to us, and got a lot of different options there. But we were really high on Luke. We've been really high on Luke. We thought he had a terrific G League season, and, you know, think that he can step right in and be a passer and a ball handler and a mover and a screener and a roller when need be. And we'll probably add one more person that can play in that area. But, you know, we're really believe in Luke as not only depth to, you know, obviously fill out the roster, but also be ready to help us and help us win. You know, I think he's at that stage where he can do that. But we're still looking, and we'll still add at least one more body.
So you heard it there. They're not done. You heard it there. They're not done.
We call the 5 position nowadays.
You heard it there. They're not done.
Thank you, Brad, Danilo, and Malcolm. We will conclude the audio part of this press conference. We do have a jersey presentation that we'll have part. We'll do that right now. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so obviously the audio part's done.
Stand up and do the picture.
So.
You gotta hold that thing up. 8888. Yes, sir.
Welcome, yes sir. Brogdon gonna be rocking the 13. Okay.
Yep, turn it over.
Look at his goofy ass.
Got him. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, that is going to do it for the press conference of Malcolm Brogdon and Gallinari. So, leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe now if you guys are new. You guys know what to do. Go check out the website. Link is in the description down below. If you guys want to donate to us to help us go to games, anything else, we appreciate all the love and support. Welcome to Boston, Malcolm Brogdon and Danilo Gallinari, officially now on the Boston Celtics. There's been a debate that I've been getting with friends or whatever. Who would you rather have? Gallo or Pritchard? Maybe I'll bring that topic up when Mike comes here, or if they want to even get on themselves. We can have a couple of debates, so on and so forth. Because apparently Gallinari's 3-point percentage in the playoffs last year was low. So one of them was arguing that Pritchard brings a little bit more of a spark off the bench more than Gallinari. So I disagree. I think the Gallo move was good because he's a big that shoots, and that helps you spread the floor a little bit more compared to like Pritchard. I mean, again, we have so many guards in this team, so like a big who can stretch out the floor would help the situation out a lot. That's my argument to it. And another argument that he was making was, should Malcolm Brogdon be starting? And he was saying Malcolm Brogdon should be starting over Al Horford and have Al Horford be the big man off the bench. So in that case, the starting lineup would be Smart, Brogdon, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams. We'll get into all these debates sooner or later. Let's just enjoy the fact that we have a very, very talented player, Malcolm Brogdon, coming into this team. And then we got Danilo Gallinari, who, like he said, he is now known to be off the bench and to do whatever he can to help this team win. And that's what this team needs. They need some leadership, especially off the bench too, to the point where it could help the bench take the next step forward. Because the bench in the postseason and even in the finals was a need. It was a need for sure. And Gallo's going to bring that as well. So, thank you guys for watching. Again, leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe right now, guys. Subscribe if you're new. You guys know what to do. Again, check out the website. Links in the description. It's been Jesse. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.